The opinions expressed in the video you are about to see are solely those of Botenkeuze.com and its test captain.
Formula decided long ago that they weren't going to compete in the high end of the Go Fast Boats performance spectrum, but they were going to keep the speed while adding comfort and style. Let's see how they've done with the 353 Fast Tech. For Botenkeuze.com, I'm Captain Steve. One thing I find with the 353 is that there's so much power in these engines, and it's putting so much into those 5-bladed props, that you'll ventilate the props very easily every time you take off. You have to get it up on plane, get the prop ventilating, back down a little bit, work through that ventilation, and then launch off, and then the boat just flies. But it's getting through that ventilation, and you can hear it here. Back off on the ventilating, come on plane, and then hit it. I have found that when you get into performance boats and you get into the high end of the performance envelope, over 50, 60, into the 70s, that you'll develop a little bit of a chine walk back and forth that you either have to back the speed off of to get out of that or drive against it and through it. It takes a little bit of skill to do that, but I found that the 353 exhibits none of that.
The Formula 353 Fast Tech had a length overall of 35 feet 3 inches, a beam of 8 feet 3 inches, and a draft of 36 inches. With 3/4 of fuel added to our 9,500 pound empty weight, we had a test weight of 10,721 pounds. Top speed came in at 80.2 miles an hour, while burning 85.9 gallons per hour. This gave us a range of 125 miles. Throttled back to a more economical cruise of 3,000 RPMs, and we were running at 47.4 miles an hour, while burning 35.4 gallons per hour. That gave us a range of 179 miles. Her time to plane was 6.5 seconds, and her 0 to 30 time was 10.1 seconds.
I found when putting the 353 through maneuvers that it's very much like every other Formula when it's at maneuvering speed. If you have it at high speed, you're going to want to keep your maneuvers down to a minimum. If you start maneuvering and cranking and banking, bring it down to about half speed, which will be, in the 40, 45 mile an hour range. And it handles solid, nailed to the water. It really doesn't take any special skill or experience to operate the 353. An average boater can do it just fine. Close quarters maneuvering is going to be no problem. As you can see, the pivot point is right about ahead of me at the windshield. I can make it respond very easily and very nimbly to what I want to do. Taking a look at the engine compartment, we have a pair of Mercury 525 EFI racing engines connected to Bravo 1 XR ITS outdrives. Not a lot of room to get around the engines on either side, so major work is going to be a problem, but for the minor work and daily engine checks, it's easy enough. Oil filters conveniently located, fuel filters easy enough to change. And I can see all the way to the bilge. All hoses look like they're double clamped, as they should be. I also noticed that the gel coat is finished on the inside of the hull, which I like to see. Well, Formula may not bill themselves as the fastest of the Go Fast boats, but at 81 miles an hour, I don't think anybody's going to be complaining. That's our test and performance of the 353 Fast Tech by Formula.
When you step below in a high-performance boat, don't expect 6 feet 6 inches of headroom, lots of beautiful wood joiner work, and a gourmet galley, because you're not going to find it, not even on a Formula. Remember, these boats started out life as skinned-out racers that had nothing below except fuel tanks and a life raft. Over time, the breed evolved and high-performance builders began putting in interiors and some basic creature comforts, but they still had to keep the boats light, sleek, and strong, and all performance boats are laid out pretty much the same below. But where Formula sets itself apart from the others is in execution of their fit and finish. In my opinion, no one does a better job than Formula. There are 4 hatches to let in light, and the material on the seats and bunks are ultra leather. All of the stitching and upholstery is first rate, just like what you'd expect to see on an Aston Martin or a Bentley Sport Coupe. There's a small head and sink with a Corian counter. Yes, you can sleep 2 people up forward, but you only have 22 inches from mattress to overhead, so it'll be cozy. But owners of these kind of boats wouldn't have it any other way. You've got 4 feet 6 inches of sitting headroom in the main salon, and the table it makes into a bed.
So clearly, while there's a meticulous detail to the fit and finish, this is not a boat that you're going to be spending weekends on board. It's get to your destination, maybe spend the night on board. Where it really shines is up in the cockpit. Let's take a look. You got to give Formula very high marks for the cool points on this boat. Dual Avorsi engine controls, remote control for the stereo, dual tachometers, and your fuel gauge. Waterproof rocker switches lighted to indicate which are active, horns separated and colored red, and your dual ignitions. And check out this helm seat. Wrap around for sustained high-speed operation. The observer also gets the same adjustments. Notice the upholstery on the seat. Waterproof, double stitched. Now you might think that an adjustable footrest is just fluff, but it really isn't. I found myself adjusting it almost continually while I was operating the boat. I really like the grab handles on the back of the seats. It's great to hold on to when you want to stand behind the seat while operating. And also when you're sitting in this aft bench seat, it makes a great handhold for pulling yourself up. Not a lot of room to get around the engines for doing major maintenance, but if any major maintenance needs to be done, it's probably not going to be you that's doing it anyway. You do have easy access to your daily engine checks, however. Right at the aft end of the sun pad, here's a compartment that is self-draining. This Formula 353 Fastech is being seen with the Formula Gold 2 Series optional graphics.
Over the years, many brands of high-performance boats have gotten a reputation for having a high breakdown rate. Formula knows that, and that's why it works harder than any company I know of to keep its boats on the water and working. Not only do they have the rapid availability of spare parts, but it has so much confidence in its product that it has a 5-year warranty program on all major components, including engines, transmissions, and generators, and a 10-year warranty on the hull structure. Formula's warranty program is unmatched by any other high-performance builder. You can't see any of these things, but they're right on the boat along with the engines, fiberglass, and Imron paint. That's our look at the 353 Fastech by Formula. For Botenkeuze.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.